Okay, so auto leasing. Hi, Dad's Wisdom here. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notifications button. I've leased before. I've leased a vehicle and I tried it all out. And I had a nice vehicle and I continued to pay the lease. And then eventually I purchased the vehicle and then continued to drive it for a number of years. I've crunched the numbers every possible way. I've watched other YouTube videos saying leasing is the best thing ever, no leasing is terrible. It's a very confusing thing. But here's where I've finally landed on the whole leasing question. So I feel like it's better at the end of a payment cycle to actually own something. When you're putting money into something, say into an auto loan even, at the end of all of that, I want to have something of value. Even though in the case of an automobile, it's always depreciating. Now, let's talk about depreciation for a moment. There are some vehicles out there that do not depreciate nearly as quickly as others. And I think you ought to consider that when you're looking at vehicles to purchase. If you've ever looked around at some of the brands like Toyota and Lexus and many, many others, you'll notice that some of those, when you look at the prices, even for a few years old and even higher mileage, it's like, wow, these are priced like new vehicles. That's because those vehicles are retaining their value over time better. Now, I'm not going to say that a car is a good investment because it's not, but there are some that at least retain value better. That's actually where I want to be. So I've bought both of those brands before, and I've watched how over time that their value doesn't dip down nearly as quickly as, say, some other ones that I've had. It's amazing how I've seen some other really big name brand vehicles absolutely plunge in value. It's hard to fathom that something that brand new when it was made was off the lot over $50,000 is now less than $10,000. And it's a perfectly good vehicle. It just has higher mileage and it's just a little bit older. So, anyway, when you're thinking about all of this, I tend to gravitate toward I think it's good to have something after you've paid some money for it. Because at the very least, you can sell that and maybe get, if it's in fantastic shape and you've taken care of it, you might get a really nice price for it. And you can take all of that and then put it toward the purchase of another vehicle. Or you could go the trade-in route. And just remember that when you trade it in, you're going to take less for that. But those are the things to consider. I just was not comfortable at the end of the day in the leasing way of doing that because I felt like, I've paid a lot of money over time, and at the very end, I really don't have anything. And so that's where I've landed. Your mileage may vary, and I would love to hear your experience. And you're welcome to drop your experience into the comments. I will certainly respect your stories and how it's worked out for you. And if I'm wrong on this, I'm certainly somebody that's saying I'm all ears on this one because it's difficult to know, but I'm not really in the leasing camp anymore. And I think that this is probably, at least for me, the better place to be. I want to own my vehicles. I want to own vehicles that are going to retain their value better. And that's where I am. They all do. They're not classics. They're not appreciating over time. But at the very least, they're not depreciating over 20% in a single year. Dad's Wisdom here. Thanks so much for watching.